Hey everyone on YouTube, this is another live crypto trading session here. We see that the market has made a little move to the upside. Link has broke its descending trend line, so that is showing a little bit of bullish indications. I'm interested in a potential long opportunity. If it pulls back and we see not a lot of sell volume when we pull back, and we see more bull volume, obviously we see more buy volume right now. So that's an option. We also see this descending trend line right here on the 5-minute chart of XRP. So I think if we are able to break it, we'll at least go to our first resistance level, maybe 2%, and then ideally we're looking for around 4% while risking maybe 1 or 1.5%. That would be a good situation to find ourselves in. And then TRX was a early mover, or a front runner we call it, where we broke the descending trend line pretty early, where you see we got the anchor point here, and then we got the first touch, second touch, third touch. So we got 4 touches, making it a dependable zone. We got the price to push above the zone. And what are we always looking for? We're always looking for the market structure to shift, right? So at this point, we haven't seen the higher high break. So we wouldn't enter on this pullback because we've held this zone. So what we need to do is we need to wait for the price to actually break the zone, which we did right here. Made a higher high. This is a higher low that held. We also see more buy volume on the way up than sell volume significantly, which shows that it is volume accumulation. But I did not want to enter because this could have been a fake out and then could have just been going down like this. I wanted to make sure that it would continue, and then it is a front runner. So then just looking at XRP here, we see that it is gaining a little bit of pop here. And if it's able to break above our previous high, which is going to be right around here, we see that there is more buy volume than sell volume. Right here, we see buy volume, and then with the consolidation, we don't see a whole lot, but we see more buy volume here. And overall, recently within the up move, we have been seeing a little bit more buy volume than sell volume. And now we are just looking for the price to make a higher high above this zone right here, above this gray zone. It's a pretty key zone within the chart. So we're looking for the price to break above the zone. Once it does, we're looking for a higher low to hold, push, pullback. We're looking to enter at the completion of the pullback. So we are looking to long at this point, but we do have to be careful. So XRP looks good because we have a gap before we hit our major level of supply, which is around 4.5 or 4%, which for me is enough to take the trade. But we do have to remember that BTC is still below our resistance that we held initially. So we do have to keep that in mind. So this is that resistance there that we're holding around 87.30. Just keeping that in mind, but it does look like some of the coins are pushing up here. TRX making a strong move to the upside, seeing lots of buy volume coming in. That is good. Link is showing its bullish pressure as well. Really seeing more buy volume coming into the market. As we can see right here, we see Link definitely seeing a lot of buy pressure breaking above the level of resistance. So that's good to see, but we're not going to be entering just randomly here. We need to see a push, the price making a structural higher high, and we want to be looking to enter on the higher low. So we need to see a lot of things here. I think Link is the closest to a possible entry at this point because we made a higher high. If we're able to get a higher low, maybe at a previous level of resistance, somewhere around there. So if we're able to close at the highs there, hold, and then come back, not see a lot of sell volume on the pullback, and then we see the buy volume start to come in, then we can see that there is volume accumulation. There's increasing buy volume coming into the market and decreasing sell volume. We've broken a key horizontal zone of resistance as well as the descending resistance that is holding the lower highs. This has created a higher high, shifting the market structure. Just saw the 5-minute close, so we'll see what the next couple candles do. XRP technically has broken above the descending resistance zone, but I personally am definitely going to be waiting because We got wicks here above the area. What we should really be doing is be using a projection area, which we will be right there. Like so. So now we covered the whole projection area. We have broken above the zone, but we haven't made a new high. So I think it's a little too early to enter. It'd be nice to see Link pull back a little bit. TRX is falling back a little bit. We are seeing strong buy volume coming in TRX. So we know that there are buyers within the alt market, at least for TRX anyways. And then Ethereum is definitely below it. XRP is a potential. If it does push up, we see significant buy volume. Link is pulling back, which is good. Let's see how much sell volume we have. And then we'll also be looking at BTC as well, because that is definitely important to understand which way BTC is moving. So we got 3 more minutes. Pretty healthy pullback here. We'll see if it holds. If it's able to hold, then we might be interested here. But like always, we want to ensure that we are in confluence with BTC, and it hasn't broken our resistance zone yet, but it has made a higher low and been seeing more buy volume coming into the market recently, which does indicate that we could see some higher highs and higher lows continue. Super bullish on BTC if we break the resistance. I don't know if I'm super bullish. Let's actually draw in this trend line here that I'm sure is right here. Yeah, I'm definitely looking at longs right now. That is for sure. But I'm currently looking more at, so we got a nice trend line right here. Hasn't yet broke it, but we'll see on the 15 minute. So I'm gonna keep it on the hour chart. Mainly we're looking at that horizontal zone because we want to see the market structure create a higher high, but I guess that gives us a little bit more of an idea of how the market is structured. You should have a look at VIX as well. Real BitConnect. Yeah, I might in a bit. I do have it on another tab here. I still am mainly looking at the crypto market. Wow, we see Matic do pretty well. Dash, not so much. All right. So let's look at some of the alts here. So XRP is pulling back to a key solid level, which is nice. Might actually be, depending on how we close, a possible feeler entry. Link is pulling back pretty strongly, but we're not seeing as much sell volume on the way down as much as we are getting buy volume on the way up. That's good. But BTC is still not fully broken the zone. So in my opinion, I think it makes sense to hold, wait for 30 more minutes to see what the 1 hour candle of BTC does, because that will play a pretty pivotal role in the upcoming next couple hours. Because if we're going to break this zone and close above it, obviously that is pretty bullish. But if we're going to get stuffed below it, I might patiently wait it out and see what BTC does, because we could just be coming right back down to our support zone. And for Bitcoin, that's not a crazy drop. It's like 1.5%. But for some of these alts, that could be a 3, 4, maybe even 5% drop. Like from XRP to a major support zone. Yeah, 4.8 to a major support zone. So it's worth taking if we see a pullback or if we see the rejection from BTC. But at this point in time, we are going to stay patient and be looking for longs. But I think we're going to stay patient for the next 30 minutes here. Only 2:30 p.m. So we definitely still are in the afternoon session here. So we are definitely still, like around 4, it gets a little bit dead, but super bullish. Yeah, I agree to some level. I don't know if we're going to be exploding if we break the zone. I think we will have some sort of reaction where the buyers will pick the price up, but don't exactly know to the level extent of hitting all the way back to the 9K for sure. At least 89.50, I think. where the previous high was within the consolidation, but that's a pretty big move on the alts there. That would be nice. So we've got the 5 minute to close. Got a new candle here. Got really a no supply because there is a very limited amount of volume that took place within that candle, which is totally all right. We don't mind that at all because we like no supplies. It means that there's a lack of sellers in an area, giving us a potential indication that the bulls are present. So XRP was probably the best no supply candle. Link did break, and we'll see if it's able to hold this new level of support here. I think XRP is going to be, if it closes green, a potential feeler trade. And then we got a really, really good amount of risk that we're able to put in. But like we said before, we want that 1 hour candle on BTC to close, and then we want to see what the next candle does. Very, very important. So just going to get my water to refill. Oh, that's old water. But I will be back. If you got any questions within the TikTok live, just drop them in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer them all for you. Got 3 more minutes till the 5 minute closes. Got a nice solid injection of buy volume for Link, holding that new level of a support, which is good to see. And we'll see how the next couple candles go here. 1 hour close above what price on BTC from It's Dash, or It's Dash. So ideally, the recent high candle closure is around 87.15. Getting some buy volume now, but yeah, the recent high is 87.15. So if we're able to close above that, that's great. But we're mainly seeing if we're able to close above this descending zone, because then that will give us a lot more of a confirmation of an actual break. Actually, I'm not going to get some water. We got 2 minutes left, and it's actually looking like a potential here. Going to put a feeler in XRP if we are able to hold that zone. Haven't really made a... Well, I guess we have if you go like this. That's not bad. All right, I am willing to take that entry on XRP there, so... Going to be longing XRP here. As a feeler, we will see when this 5 minute closes and then how this 1 hour closes. A feeler is just a small position you'd be putting in. Link is bouncing back very, very well here. Got a minute left on this 5 minute chart. BTC is doing pretty well. We see there is a lack of buy volume, surprisingly, but it looks like the candle is about to potentially close at the level. So we will see. I'm just going to draw on my other chart the potential trend line that we're looking at. Yeah, so it definitely looks like it potentially has closed. Okay. So we got 43 seconds here. So I'm not going to be risking a whole lot. It looks like I'll be risking around 0.7-ish. Okay. Okay, so I just put in my feeler position because we just got a close. Wow, XRP did well on that candle. Look at that. Very, very strong close on Link. Got an entrance of a feeler. We'd like to enter more. Ethereum is also a potential entry if we are still getting, if we get a lagger, like if we are unable to get another entry. If this pushes up too high again, because pretty happy with that. And I'll post in the chats there. Okay, super nice close on BTC 5-minute. Yeah, I'll check it out in 1 second. I'm just putting in my entries here. Making sure I got everything good. Okay, and then holy shit, Chainlink went way up. Holy shit, Bitcoin's doing well. For breaks above this, definitely looking good. We got a position already in with a stop loss set. So that's great. Got our position in right here. BTC is looking very, very strong here. Looks like it's potentially going to hold above our previous level of a market structure high, creating a higher high. Obviously, that is great. And then we got an entry on XRP. We'd like to enter more. This is what I'm talking about for Link. Crazy, crazy move to the upside here. Let's see how Link is looking here. Yeah, I'm looking for a potential opportunity here on Link because this is looking pretty damn good. So XRP we're already in. Link is a close second for an entry. If we see BTC close, we don't want to enter too much just yet because we want to make sure that we get a close on the 1 hour for BTC first. Note this is cryptocurrencies we are trading, not foreign exchange. We've got 17 minutes left, but I'm really, really wanting to enter Link here for a long opportunity. I might enter after the pullback is complete with the feeler position. Not a significant amount, but we see on the hour chart we got a lot of volume coming in. And on the 5-minute, we see that there's a surge in buy volume that just came in, and BTC is looking very strong. There's a lot of alts that are looking really strong. Definitely seeing the opportunity towards the upside here. Except the trade that we're in, XRP is not seeing the significant move up that we're hoping for, but we got lots of space on the stop loss. We got tons of room. We are in no way even close to worried about stop losses yet. But yeah, BTC is definitely looking like it's taking a move to the upside. We still got over an hour on the 4-hour chart. We're not seeing a lot of volume on the buy side. But, oops, okay, that's not the end of the world. I just closed the least important one out of all of them. I believe I was using, let's just use Bybit, 4-hour, Hikinashi. There we go. Okay, so we got 20 seconds left before this candle closes. BTC looking very strong. Link not really giving us an opportunity for an entrance here. Pushing up well kind of above the resistance zone. I was hoping to get the price to come back a little bit lower here so we get a good entry, but this might be a trade that gets kind of away from us, but it's okay. We already have exposure in the markets. Also, we just got a new candle to close on the 15-minute chart. Pretty bullish. We see decent amount of buy pressure coming into the market for Bitcoin right now, which is pretty good. Good for our XRP long, which we currently are in right now. And then we're looking to gain a little bit more buy exposure or long exposure, but we want to be patient. We haven't seen BTC close yet, so we want to see Bitcoin close above the descending zone, which it looks like it is right now. But like always, patience is the name of the game. We want to ensure that we are getting a good entry here. And I will notify people within the Discord of... Did I already? Yeah, I already did. Okay, good. Yep. Okay. Awesome. Just making sure that this, perfect. All right, basically good to go. Got the stop loss, got areas of potential take profit there. And not much more to do here. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll just move some of these candles like so. And then this is the 1 minute chart for the candle, or for the chart that we're currently in. I think what we're going to do is actually bring this back right here, because I think it was easier for people to see when I bring this back like so. Definitely compared to the opposite way. So we got 12 minutes till Bitcoin is going to close. Got one person in the YouTube. So we will see how it goes here. We are holding at the level, seeing more buy pressure than sell pressure, which is good. That means it's volume accumulation, which is bullish, which is in the direction of where we're wanting the price to enter. See a significant drop here from Link. Whoa. Oops, don't need that. This is Link and this is TRX, right? We just want to see what those are. Really want to know what Bitcoin's doing, and Matic not so much more. I guess I put Ethereum right there. Okay. Ethereum looks pretty good too. Yeah, Ethereum's looking pretty good as well. Look at that nice entry. I think Ethereum is going to be a possible entry if we get the bulls to come back up here. That is an if. We got good parameters of risk reward here. Oh, that might not be it. Oh yeah, that's it. Previous low, we can even go previous low. 1.36%. That is pretty darn good. $1.36. And okay, I'm going to put more on Ethereum here. Okay. How is it going, Alberto? Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate the comment. He said, hey, with a wave emoji. Love your content. Really appreciate that. Thank you. So if you got any questions about what we're doing, just drop a question in the comment section below and we'll be able to answer you. We are trading cryptocurrencies. More specifically, I'm currently in a long position with Ethereum and Ripple, or XRP. So we currently are in 2 long positions right now. All right, we're pretty happy with our trades here that we have. We got Ethereum for one entry and XRP for another, and XRP is doing pretty good. It's seeing a little breakout here. Might move that stop loss up to the nearest high once we get a candle close on this one right here. Got BTC, still 2 more minutes until we see this candle closure. Seeing a very strong bullish candle on Bitcoin, closing above the recent market structure resistance as well as a support. So that's really good to see. Obviously, we don't have a close on the 4-hour yet, but the 1-hour looks pretty dang bullish, breaking above the descending trendline zone as well as above the previous market structure high. So pretty bullish for the overall market because BTC just saw an increase in price. We didn't see a staggering amount of buy pressure coming into the market compared to the level of the move that we got, but we'll take it. Price action is king. So I'm very willing to accept that. And then once we are able to hold a level on both of these, I will be moving my stop loss up. Not too quickly, but in a way that allows me to reduce my risk. So that will be the next thing that we are going to be doing. But at this point in time, we are just chilling. Got 2 entries here. Overall market looks pretty bullish. Alts are pushing up, seeing more buy volume. Tron has been seeing a lot of buy volume recently. So we will continue on the trend here. No point trying to fight the trend. Chainlink has broken to new highs. Ripple has broken to new highs here that we're on, which is good to see. Not seeing a tremendous amount of buy volume, but BTC has also broken our descending zone, so and our horizontal zone. So there's definitely a little bit more confirmation that there's buyers in the market breaking resistances. So let's see how this new wave of entries will come in. We got 20 seconds until the 1-hour closes, so it's going to close very shortly here. So we'll see how it reacts. We'll see how the market reacts to the zone. Usually there's a little bit of a run-up before the 1-hour closes, and then we get all the transactions to take place as soon as the 1-hour closes for all the people wanting to wait for that candle closure, that significant candle closure for the 1 hour. So we'll see how the market reacts here. Instantly, we do see more buy volume coming into the market here. Wow, XRP making a pretty solid move to the upside. Ethereum, not so much. I'm just going to change Tron here into what we're trading, which is Ethereum paired with US Tether on the Binance. So there we go. Now I can see all the trades that we're currently in. XRP is definitely doing the best out of all of them, although Ethereum is slowly creeping up here. So looking at risk rewards, our first major level of resistance at a risk reward of, let's say, 1.2. So we will have to assess and see how the price reacts to these zones. XRP. I'm just seeing. Okay. So we'll try to move that stop loss up soon. So we're reducing that risk. Definitely, I think, on XRP because we're at a point where the risk reward is basically almost 1-to-1. We want to move that stop loss up at least to the previous low right here. I'm definitely wanting that to happen. So I think I will do that right now, actually. So on XRP, let's just go to XRP. And I'm going to move the stop loss up to where it initially was at 1%. And I'm going to move it all the way to around 0.75, maybe even 0.7, somewhere around there. So I'm now giving the price less room to breathe. I do want to give the support there enough room, maybe even 0.72, somewhere around there. So I do want to give the price a little bit more room, obviously, than just putting it right to the break even. But reducing my risk is something that I try to do very often. And once we're able to kind of find a low, if it does find a low and we get a couple injections of buy volume, then we would then increase the stop loss to higher, where we're almost at break even. But we're slowly incrementally moving it up here. as the time goes on. I think I'm actually just going to move it below this one here. So basically going to try to cut it by half, maybe 5/8, somewhere around there. So then okay, so we reduced our risk for XRP. Looks like the candle is going to hold here. Let's hope that it does. Got the stop loss below the previous low right here. This is the previous low, so hopefully it sticks. The hope is the price is going to stick above this zone, or at least above this gray area. We're giving the price basically 2 gray areas to move. If it goes beyond that, we're going to call it quits, but I don't think, we're hoping it's not going to go below because we see it's a pretty key structural area within the chart. Support, 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 resistance, 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 and now it's probably going to be a support yet again. So looking at where it was, we're not seeing, there is, where the price it protrudes above and below the zone, but we are giving more than enough room for the average kind of outliers or the swing lows and highs of the area. So hopefully that continues to the upside, reducing our risk a little bit. And then Ethereum is seeing a little bit of sell pressure here. The overall market is a little bit, but that is okay. Could be coming in for a retest here on the 1 hour. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the volume comes in. We are, wouldn't say extremely overexposed to one side of the market. We reduced our risk for one of our trades. So we'll just see how the market reacts here. Basically split our risk on one of them, which is good. And then we got the 5-minute to close. Not ideal because we closed looking like we're going to pull back here. Same thing as Ethereum. We did get our first solid injection of buy pressure coming in. We are looking to add a little bit more, but we want to see the price hold this zone before we can add. So as of right now, we're just seeing the market push up. We got a good entry here. A lot of the alts have gone above the previous market structure high. We see that with Ethereum. We see that with Ripple. We see that with Link. All of these have made market structure higher highs, and they could be pulling back for a market structure higher low, which is not bad because we've positioned ourselves in a way that we're able to incur that little pullback, and hopefully we're able to get that strong push to the upside. So that is the hope here. We broke the descending zone. We broke the market structure high. On some of them, we're not seeing amazing bullish pressure, but we do see still buyers are in the market. Obviously not as much as we'd like, but let's look at the 4 hour here. 4 hours, not bad. We're definitely seeing some buy pressure in the market. 1 hour for XRP is not bad as well. Ethereum seeing on the 4 hour. Decent buy volume on Ethereum on the 4 hour. Actually very solid buy volume on the 4 hour, where we see significant amounts of buy volume on the supports there, showing us that we do have good significant areas that we are holding. So that's good to see. XRP is as well a little bit less buy volume, and then Link is showing strong buy volume to the upside. Link is also pulling back here to the area of demand. So if we do get the price to hold there, maybe we could get an entry on here as well. So we'll see how it goes. Getting a slight pullback from the market, but nothing crazy, nothing's tumbling. Seeing less sell volume on the way down than buy volume on the way up for all these alts here, which is good to see. And then we got quite a bit of room here for XRP, so I'm not going to be too worried for any potential wicks, hopefully. That is the hope. So, yeah, Link's still an opportunity, I think. In my opinion, I still think it's not a bad trade to enter. We got our push to the upside, we got our pullback, we got our first injection of buy volume, which didn't get that much buy volume, and now we're hopefully going to see our next wave of buy volume. So if we break this consolidation to the upside and close on the 5 minute, I'll definitely be interested, but right now, we're just in Ethereum and XRP, and we're currently very happy with that. We've already reduced our risk on XRP. We haven't reduced any amount of risk on Ethereum. Once we're able to create that zone of support a little bit more defined, then we're able to move that stop loss a little bit higher. But as of right now, we want to give that price a little bit of room in case of wicks to the downside, and then we will move it up when the time comes. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully BTC is just going to pull back and hold this nice level of support like a lot of these alts are right now. We got a lot of space before our stop losses get hit. And currently on the Coin Farm exchange, we see a lot of buy pressure going on. We see on the 1 hour, we see lots of buy volume. BitMEX has 65% of the people on BitMEX buying. Binance has almost 60% and Bybit has 60%. So definitely a lot of buying going on for BTC here. We can see not a lot of sell pressure. If we're able to get a no supply at that area right there as a pullback for the new level of support before the next move to the upside, that would be very, very favorable for our current trades. So we will see how it goes. I'm going to get a little bit more water. If you got any questions, drop them in the TikTok comments below. I don't really see any more comments or questions, so I'm just going to keep this running. For anyone who's interested in checking it out, please do. But we'll see how it goes. Got the 5 minutes to close here. Don't see a tremendous amount of buy volume. Got 44 minutes till this 1 hour closes. Got some little bit more than entry positions on Ethereum as well as XRP here. Reduce the risk on XRP. Might reduce the risk on Ethereum. If we do get a break of this little minor level of support here, would not love to see a break of this zone. If we do, then we'll probably reduce our risk. Oops. Looks like it may be breaking back down there for a potential false breakout. We will obviously want to wait. BTC did break a new high. This is pulling back to validate the previous resistance as a new level of support. And we're testing to see if there is buyers able to hold the price. We made a nice double bottom, breaking the previous market structure highs. So for me, that's a pretty bullish pattern. And in my opinion, we can see it's a well-respected zone here as well. So in my opinion, we should be looking for longs on the Heiken Ashis. We are seeing momentum to the upside. We broke a recent high. The Heiken Ashis are green. We're seeing we're seeing buy pressure coming into the market, and not really seeing decreasing sell pressure because we did see that big sell-off with this candle right there. But we will be entering more once we have more confirmation that there's buyers. But for now, we are going to stay patient, have entries in the positions that we're looking for, and once we see the momentum shift and hopefully we see more buy volume coming into the market, seeing more volume accumulation. That's the only red candle that I don't like. We were seeing more buy volume and we were seeing a decreasing amount of sell volume, so would have been nice not to see that candle, but obviously in life you cannot always get everything perfect, or trading you can't get everything perfect, so you got to be able to work with what's given to you. And right now, like Ethereum, we're not seeing a whole lot of volume accumulation, a little bit more like volume distribution kind of, especially with that rejection on the 5-minute chart. This could be a pullback, but that rejection does not look awesome. Got 2 minutes on this 5-minute. Got 12 minutes on the 15-minute and got 42 minutes on this 1 hour. So still definitely got a little bit of time here. Welcome for those who are watching on YouTube. Got 2 members watching on YouTube and 10 members watching on TikTok. So currently entered as a long on Ethereum. On this pullback that we're currently getting here, seeing if we're able to get the buyers to hold and keep the price above this level of support. If we are able to get the price to hold above this level of support, then I'd definitely be looking to long and add to my position here. But as of right now, we are just going to be patient, wait for this trade to develop further, and then add once we have more confirmation. So XRP is definitely holding up on that support, really hoping that we see that support hold there, and XRP is holding, or sorry, Ethereum is holding. XRP, I might push that support back, or the stop loss back down a little bit further. I don't want to get wicked out because even though the volume is not super bullish, the price action is bullish, and that to me means more. So we'll see how this closes. We'll see if it closes very close to the highs there. That would mean it's pretty bullish. And got 36 seconds until we got candle closures. I don't think I moved that, right? 5-8. Yeah, I did not move that. Okay, good. So not much more to go over. Oh, got another question from David. What is the MM strategy? Not sure what the MM strategy you're talking about is. If you could care to explain what an MM strategy is, I can maybe elaborate on the idea, but I do not know what that strategy is. So, well, I can elaborate on it if I don't know it, but maybe if you could give me a little bit more detail as to what you're trying to explain, then I may be able to provide my thoughts or some feedback on whatever you're trying to just say there. So 5-minute close. Let's see how the next candle reacts here. So the first reaction is we are seeing a little bit more buy volume coming into the market. Not a tremendous amount. XRP is stalling. Ethereum is seeing a little bit more buy volume. But let's see how this next candle goes here, because that is a pretty good pullback. We got a strong move to the upside. Definitely have a breakout on our hands. Previous resistance. Hopefully turning into new levels of support. That is the idea. That is how the trade is structured. We are going to assume and expect that the price is going to hold once we have validation, and we already have a validation. We have our first injection of buy pressure. We can see both in XRP and Ethereum, we got our first injection of buy pressure, and that's where we started to enter into the market, and then we're going to enter more once we get the validation and the second injection of buy pressure that there is bulls within the area. Once we get that second injection of buy pressure, then we have two validations that there are buyers, giving us even more of a confirmation that we are correct. So just basically viewing the markets right now, not doing anything other than spectating. Already got our positions, already got our stop losses. XRP is slowly coming down here. Let's analyze this a little bit more. Hopefully it's going to hold within that gray zone. What we're ideally wanting to hold is this, is this zone right above here. Is, for me, the area I want the price to stay above. Lastly, and ideally we want it to stick within the gray area, because that is our zone of sensitivity that we currently have within our chart on XRP. But this smaller gray zone is kind of the last resort before my stop loss gets hit, and I'm all right with that. Was below this low initially, so it was right here at a risk of basically 1, but now it's at a risk of 0.6, let's say. So we will see how the market's doing. Not a whole lot to do. I'm going to be basically working on some stuff on another monitor, assessing the price action here, looking to see if there's any questions. Where's your TP? So my TP for XRP, I got 3 TPs. Targets doesn't mean I'm going to exactly take 33% off at each one. We'll see how the breakout is. We'll see how the volume is. We'll see how the different alts are reacting to the market. I don't like setting hard take profits for day trading per se. I like, because I'm so active and I'm in front of the screen ready to take action whenever I need. But I'm looking for ideally a risk reward of minimum 2, but hopefully 2.5 to 3.5 is a sweet spot. 3 being really a good risk reward. If I get above 3, obviously more the merrier. Never going to complain about a higher risk reward, but at this current time, we are looking for a risk reward of maybe taking 33% off or maybe 50% off at a risk reward of maybe 2.5 or a little above 2. And then if we're maybe able to get the higher top of the range at like 3.8 or something, and then average at maybe 3 or 3.2, that would be a good situation. It just matters on how hard we're able to bounce here, because we need to get the buy volume in order to see that strong bounce. And we are seeing buy volume here coming into this candle. We see decent buy volume coming into the market here, with the candle closing in around 15 seconds and the 1 hour closing in around 35 seconds, and then the 15-minute candle closing in around 5 minutes. So we got a couple candles here. We're seeing a pretty decent bounce right now from the buyers, from the bulls, picking the price back up. And there is that closure. So we closed pretty bullish here. Don't see that much buy volume actually on Ethereum. Actually, very, very little, surprisingly. But on XRP, we actually gained a decent amount of buy volume within that 5-minute time frame. So good to see for the buyers. And then just looking across the board for the different alts, we see Chainlink did well there. BNB did pretty well there. Matic did pretty well within that time frame as well. Well, you can see on the hour chart right there, basically right back at the high. So not a bad place to be. So yeah, to answer your question, risk reward of 2-to-1 is going to be at a point of on XRP paired with USDT. 0.24271 is TP1 potentially. 24510 TP2, and then TP3 is 24772. And then also you can go to the YouTube live stream. We're live streaming this on TikTok as well as YouTube, so you can check that out as well. So if you are interested in looking more into the numbers, you can see they're right there. And then I'm also just working on some other stuff on another monitor here, just commentating about what's happening within the market. So if you're trading, yeah, tune in and you can actually make some trades as well with the team, which is always a good thing. Well, we're getting some buy pressure here coming in, which is good to see. XRP has bounced, which is awesome. And then I think at this point we have established this level as a support. So we can now, we have 45 seconds left until this candle closes. So on our Ethereum trade, we are now going to move the stop loss up. A little bit higher here. Not significantly. We were initially at 1.6. Now we're going 1.4. I think a little bit. 1.4 I think is where we're going to go next. So one thing I really like about this push is the fact that, I'm just making sure I got the stop loss. Okay, yeah. So the one thing I really like about this push is the fact that we're getting increasing buy volume coming up to the previous resistance. If it was the opposite, if we're seeing decreasing buy volume coming up to the resistance, we would have a no demand, a lack of demand coming up to an area where we're trying to battle it out to see who's stronger, the bears or the bulls. So this is showing me that the bulls are trying to break this zone. We should be seeing more demand pushing the price up to the area of resistance because we've seen it have a battle area or an area where there has been a zone of sensitivity where there's been people buying and selling at this area. So it's good to see the buyers trying to push the price up, and it's not a weakness coming into the area of resistance where then supply is going to slam it back down, hopefully. So we will give the price room. We don't want to get off and put the stop loss too high too quickly, but we also want to give it room and manage risk at the same time. So it's a fine balance that we're trying to solve here, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of it right now. It's just a matter of, I think XRP, I'm very happy with where the stop loss is right now. I don't really want it any higher because we reduced it by basically half, almost. It was at 1%, or let's just say 1.1 with spread, and now it's at 0.6%. So that was significantly reduced for the risk. And then for Ethereum, reduced it from 1.5 to 1.4. So that's a little bit better, but obviously we are looking to try to get the stop loss up and reduce that risk a little bit more. We have tested this area for a support twice, and we've seen injections of buy volume come in both times. The price has been in this area, with both times seeing decent amount of buy pressure coming in. Second time we're seeing increasing buy pressure coming in, which is good for our analysis, good for our long bias. And on that note, BTC is still holding our zone. We got 22 minutes left until this 1 hour candle closes. So it's looking pretty good. We're seeing the wick to the downside, seeing that there's not a lot of sell pressure here coming into the market, which is good. It is currently, we still got 22 minutes left, but if it is able to get less volume than the previous two, then we can see a potential no supply, and then that would be obviously an indication that there's a lacking amount of supply, which then would mean that the demand will come kicking in, and combine that with the price action as well as the market structure seeing a higher high, holding a higher low from the previous high. Very, very good market structure, and breaking a descending zone, and then that's a signifying move that we are seeing a potential at least move to this zone, the 8900, because it's not a perfect double bottom, but we do see there's a bottom that held, and then the wick here was the candle closures for the next low, and then we're seeing the price try to push back up here. So we could just create a nice channel or consolidation. So then we will have to assess if it's going to be in a market accumulation or a market distribution phase by looking at the price action. But right now, we are looking a little bit more bullish because we've broken our zone here that we have, our descending zone that broke, retesting a previous market high as a new level of support. So then, in my opinion, I think we could see a little bit more bullish action. We don't need to see crazy amounts. We're just looking for one strong push to the upside where we can capture our risk reward and then we can get out of the market and then reassess. We're not looking to hold for days and days and days at this point because the market is not really ready to have a trade on the 4-hour daily. We just kind of entered this consolidation. You know, like we said, we are looking to see a potential move back towards the upside. We could see a longer term swing trade if the market shows something for a potential on the hourly. Like we can see here, this trade, our 5-minute trades are based from the hourly chart, but we do have quite a bit of resistance here. 88.50 and 9K are going to be, or let's say 89.50 are going to be pretty key important resistance zones that we need to pass, where we will most likely have some level of sell pressure, and knowing that, we can potentially look for take profits because we are somewhat scalping. I would say intraday trading, where we're buying and selling within the same span of the day. We're still getting our risk rewards. At the end of the day, what matters is your win-loss ratio and your risk-reward ratio. It doesn't matter if you are capturing 0.5%, 0.2%, or 50%, like in options compared to Forex. Think of the percent gain difference there. In Forex, you know, a pip is what percent? It's like really minuscule compared to, for example, what you're able to collect in options if you're able to trade... Oh, I skipped your question. I'll get it to in one moment here. But yeah, it matters about risk reward and win loss. So is your TP the previous high? So yes, it is. Let's just go over it. So for Ethereum, we see that there's a pretty big double bottom here, and my take profit is going to be at the top of the double bottom. It could be either kind of above the previous resistance zone where the breakout zone is, or we have this consolidation area above the double bottom where we have a major area of supply as well. So we'll see how the price action reacts. We're not going to set hard stop loss or hard take profits. We're going to set soft take profit or dynamic take profits where we're able to assess how the price action is doing and then go from there. So at this point in time, what we're aiming for is a risk reward of 3.5 to 3, ideally. If it goes above that, if it were in the 3.5 to 4 risk reward, obviously that's absolutely phenomenal. But at this point in time, what we're looking for is to see right now the price make a higher high, hold, and then we'll be able to move that stop loss to break even, completely mitigate risk off the table. And then we'll see that the reaccumulation phase, and then we'll get another markup phase, and then that will hopefully bring us to the areas of take profit where we're wanting to be getting some profit off the table here. So we'll see how the market goes, but that's basically what the plan is. How do you know how high it's going to go? I don't exactly know how high it's going to go. I do not know the answer to that question. David DDDD. I skipped your question. You said market maker. I'm not a market maker. What is MMStrategy? Yeah, so you might have not been actually present when I said it. I don't know what an MMStrategy market structure, MMStrategy. If you can explain what that is, maybe I'm missing something. But if that was your question, I did answer your question. I just did not know what you meant by your MMStrategy. So if you could explain that, then I am able to get to your question. And then another person questioned, what's your opinion on APT, AIM, AHPI stocks right now and the near future? Sorry, M.E. Everett, I'm not going to be going over the equities because I'm day trading cryptos and I'm going to be focusing on trading what I'm currently entering and Not going to be going over random stocks that I have no exposure to or kind of no reason to be looking other than just trying to analyze it for someone else, because unfortunately I am trading in the markets right now. If I wasn't, I would probably be doing those for you, but at this point in time, a little more focused on what's happening in my current portfolio. But yeah, if you post that on the stock section in our Discord, I'll take a look at it and I'll see what I can do, and I'll probably be able to do some of them. But that's a lot of stocks that you're mentioning there. So yeah, just go in our Discord and type that exact thing out, and then I'll look at some of the stocks and see if I can do an analysis for you there. He's a market maker strategy. I'm not a market maker strategy. I don't trade that fast in time frames. I trade on the 5-minute chart. I look for one strong impulse push. So you know how the market moves in waves. We're looking for one strong impulse push on a larger time frame, like on a 1 hour or 4 hour, but we're able to capture a potential entry on the 5-minute chart. So that's our execution, and then we're able to manage our risk, see the VSA, the volume spread analysis, see if there's any no demand or no supply candles and all that stuff. So that's currently what we're doing right now. Wow, there's a lack of demand in that candle. But definitely getting a bit of a pullback here. I think what we're going to do is move this stop loss up a little bit higher. We've already had 2 injections of buy pressure, push the price up and really validate this zone as a nice area of support. So what I'm going to be doing is moving this stop loss up. And we also see other alts moving up. Chainlink is moving up quite a bit here. BTC is consolidating. We just saw another 15-minute candle close green on the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks for BTC, but we are not seeing a significant push yet. Yeah, I think I'm going to move that closer. He's a market maker strategy. Basically how they stop hunt traders. I do not do that. Introduce them and push the market, and they go opposite. Why does day trading get so much hate? Especially crypto, in my experience, it does. I personally don't. I think day trading gets a little bit of hate because there's a lot of people who glamorize the idea of being a day trader and, like, you know, looking for a trade that's 6 minutes long, making 50 grand, and you do that every single day, and it sounds like a pretty perfect lifestyle, but it can be stressful if you're sizing up. You need to have years of spending a shit ton of time staring at a monitor, like years of just many hours. It's amazing in terms of the leverageability. I absolutely love trading. I do it for a reason. I fucking love trading so much, but a lot of people come into it just because they want to become a millionaire instantly. And those are the people that blow up their accounts because they leverage way too much. They'll go straight into options, something that has very high leverage, or they'll just go into a derivatives exchange in the crypto market. I don't think crypto's hated more. I think it's a little less known. It's a lot less common. You don't hear many people trade crypto, but you hear a lot of people trade in the forex market or in the stocks market or in options or even in commodities, but not so much in crypto. But it's a new market, definitely, and there's a little bit of risk in it because it's a market that is still developing, you know. But I think it's really interesting. I think that there's a lot of potential, and there's a lot of bright things to come for the future of blockchain and crypto altogether. It's a market maker strategy. What's your risk reward? My risk reward ratio, I'm looking to attain a risk reward ratio of around 2.5 to 3.5 of a risk reward ratio, ideally. So it's not a market maker strategy. I know what you're talking about, and I'm not doing that. I am short-term intraday trading using 3 different sets of criteria, forming a story within the price action. 1 is going to be market structure. 2 is going to be the actual price action itself. And then the third one is going to be the VSA, the volume spread analysis. Getting a slight pullback here. Not a lot of volume, but we are seeing the sellers try to push the price back down. But buyers seem present. We got 50 seconds here on this 5-minute candle. And then we're going to see a close. Got no questions on the YouTube Live. So we're in 2 trades right now. We'll see how they go. We got a double top potentially on both of them. So we will want to reduce our risk. I think on Ethereum, I will definitely want to reduce my risk because the obvious level is going to be right around here, around 227.50. And then XRP, in my opinion, I've put the stop loss to a point where I'm happy with it. I've reduced my risk by half on XRP here because it was, well, almost half. It was at 1% and now it's at 0.6. So I've almost reduced my risk to half. But the sellers definitely seem to be a little bit more present in the market, showing themselves a little bit more. But the 5-minute just closed, so let's see how the next candle reacts to the 5-minute closure. So I'm going to move my stop loss up a little bit here on Ethereum. Because we've already had 2 injections of buy pressure hold the price up, I might even push it up a little bit more, to be completely honest. Kind of like so. And then we will see if BTC is able to bounce here, because we do have volume accumulation on a lot of these alts here, definitely on XRP recently. And also Ethereum, but we did get that one bearish candle on the 5-minute. But we will see how the price reacts. I'm going to tuck that stop loss in a little bit closer on Ethereum. So I'm reducing my risk a little bit more. So I have less risk on the table in case we do get that double top to push the price below our minor level of support. So we got that in there. So got the stop losses set on both of them. And what was the risk initially on Ethereum? Initial risk on Ethereum was 1.6%. Now it is at 1%. So basically almost a third there. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way that we're managing these trades here. We're not seeing this strong push up just yet, but we're slowly trying to reduce risk while letting the price work itself up, finding areas of support here. Now, we do see a double top on both of these breakouts. Now, which makes sense. We got a double confirmation of an injection of buy volume. We got our first one, and then once we saw that with buyers in the market, this for us is a good pattern. I'm all right with taking a loss on these. We managed our risk. You know, it's not like we don't know how much we're losing on both of the trades. We know exactly how much we're losing if we lose both of the trades. So you have to understand how well you're managing the risk on the total portfolio, not just a trade by trade basis. Because if you're trading on multiple If you're taking multiple trades, obviously you're going to be incurring losses if you lose multiple trades, and if you don't know how much you're losing in total, it can turn out to be a pretty big mess. So knowing exactly how much you're losing is a pretty important step in the process. So we're just incrementally increasing the price or stop loss higher towards the entry, so we are able to get a reduced amount of risk if the price does go against us, which is all right. It happens. I think it's a good setup. I'm very all right with it. BTC is in a pretty good position to get some buy volume here, move to the upside, and if we don't get it, you know, that's just how it goes. Gotta accept it. We're just doing our best that we can to reduce the stop loss space from the entry zone. So initially, yeah, we had 1% on XRP and 1.6 on Ethereum. So Not bad. No more questions. What's your risk reward ratio? Okay, it's a market. How's it going, Dookie? My guy. I think I answered all the questions here. Because so many traders lose. Yeah, that's very true. It's like anything though. Like, think how many people play baseball or play soccer or football or hockey or go and, like, you know, try to become a professional skateboarder or any real athlete whatsoever. Think of the amount of people that try and then think of the success rate. So if you think in terms of the success rate, it's not impossible in the least. But I think why people hate it so much is you get burned not just with your ego and mentally and emotionally, but you also lose money. So then when people come in to trading with, you know, such high amount of excitement and think that they're going to make $1 million in a year, and then they lose money, their entire expectations just get shattered, and then they get resentful, and that's never a good way to kind of start a relationship with something that you are trying to pursue as a lifelong thing. So that's why we always try to stress to start slow, start with no money, practice paper trading, which is fake trading, and then slowly put money in as you get better, as you get more comfortable understanding charts. So, getting quite a bit of sell pressure here. It looks like we could be hitting our stop losses. Let's see if it's able to hold this last level of support. If it doesn't, it hit our stop losses, and we're just going to take the losses and go about our day. Not going to take them personally, not going to take them emotionally. Just going to take it, accept it, journal it, and move on for the next day. So we'll see how it goes. Have you seen what's happening with the stock market? Yeah, definitely have. Check out the recent couple TikToks. Pretty crazy stuff happening, that's for sure. It's like 13% down this week alone. So it will be interesting to see. That is now my stop loss gone. All right, so I got my stop loss for Ethereum as well as XRP. Still has not hit my... No, now I hit my stop loss. Okay, so both my stop losses are hit. I'm now out of a trade. Good potential. I enjoyed it for an opportunity, but couldn't happen. Got the price to break above the market structure high, held above the market structure low twice. Looked like a good opportunity. We were trying to manage that risk, but now it looks like it's taking a pretty good dive to the downside here, so I'm very alright with taking that loss. I'm an accepting loser of that one, because that is a pretty damn good overall price action pattern. Now, we could still be looking for entries, right? Like, if this is just a big, long wick to the downside, we could still be looking for entries because we managed our risk quite well, and we took half of the amount of risk that we would have wanted. Now we're able to, well, let's say we max put 1% on each trade risk on our total portfolio. Well, then we came off with 0.5% on each trade. And we can always re-enter if the price holds the zone and starts gaining significant buy volume. But, you know, with how the current market is going right now, I wanted to move the stop loss up because if it didn't hold our previous low, I did not want to be a part of the market until the market's able to kind of figure itself out. So I will record these and then probably just continue with the charts I have right now, because there's still good charts. Like, you could connect the lower highs there and potentially draw a descending wedge, and then once it breaks the descending wedge, that would be a good entry point. But with that very strong bearish volume, with the recent bearish volume there, I was hoping for the next candle to see more buy volume, because we have seen a little bit more buy volume coming into the market. That's more buy volume coming in right here. So we'll see how it turns out here. Got 30 seconds left until the candle closure, so we'll see how the markets react. Okay, got those in. Got those in there. Really being able to manage our risk well here, which I'm very alright with kind of getting out on some of these trades here until we see the market give us more of a confirmation, because we got the double injection, happy about that, and once we failed to see the price make a move towards the upside for the double rejection, then for me at least, I was a little bit more skeptical of the fact that we could see a potential entry here. So we'll see how it goes. Right now, no exposure. I want to see the price give me a little bit more of an indication that it's going to move to the upside before I enter here. Might look at entering XRP if we break this zone and hold above it here on the 5 minute. That's the key, is making sure we're holding above it on the 5 minute. Nice little re-entry. That's the zone we're looking to enter above. Breaks this zone, first confirmation. Second confirmation is market structure right here, and then we're hoping to see some buy volume coming to the market. So that for me will be the re-entry zone. Still looking to re-enter. I'm alright with taking a small loss, really. I'm not really going to get upset about it. Looking for the strong move to still occur, because I still think that we could have it here. BTC is looking a little bit more strong, holding level of supply, or previous level of supply. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Might hold off a little bit because I don't want to keep on entering within the consolidation if it's just going to consolidate for a while. I'd like to see more of a market structure shift. Consolidation trading isn't bad, but it's good to understand when we are in one. Quite the rejection here from the buyers, pushing the price up. But we're not wanting to enter just yet here. Should have kept that stop loss lower. Might actually enter on this candle here, to be honest. I might just re-enter exactly where I initially entered. I will take that loss, because that is a pretty strong move back up here. And like we said, on the 5-minute, we are looking for the price to close above this zone. So we will want to see that before we look to enter again. I think also for the highs, we're wanting to see the price break above this zone before we're wanting to re-enter. So we'll see where the price goes. Got entry, or got a position above there, and then pulled back. Hopefully we will be able to get a nice support hold. But that's the thing, you can't get discouraged at all. You just got to completely accept that you can't really have any real edge on any single trade, but you have an edge over a series of trades. So we'll see what the candlesticks do in the next couple situations here. Getting that pullback. Yeah, we'll see. Just gonna see if I have any questions coming in. No questions coming in on there. What is better, Bitcoin or real money? I'm just going back to the questions here. I personally would say Bitcoin. What do you mean by real money? That's the question. Is the US dollar real money? How is it real? That is the question. They can print as much as they want with it. You can't redeem any sort of other asset like gold with it. They could literally print as much as they want with it. And like anything, if they're printing more of it, your value of whatever you hold, whatever they're printing, is going to get devaluated. That is just how it works. Higher supply equals less value. So wouldn't really classify that real money. Bitcoin, there's only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever get created. That will never be able to be created once the amount of coins have all been mined. So I'm pretty biased. I'm not trading in the crypto market because I just stumbled upon it. I picked it for a particular reason. So I'm obviously very bullish on the whole sector. What would be the best to invest with the economy crashing? Yeah, it's a good question. I personally think that crypto will do well. It's just a matter of if people will... Well, it's not a matter of it doing well. I do think that it'll do well. It's just a matter of how well it will be able to be adopted into the current world we live in. Because when it actually becomes... When it becomes a point where blockchain and crypto is used in our day-to-day lives, then true value is found. But then when people are just talking about projects and hype, then there's just a bubble. There's hype. Like, look at the companies that the internet has kind of founded. Amazon, Google, Netflix, Facebook, Twitter. All these behemoths of companies started off of the internet. And I think we're going to see the same thing with Bitcoin and blockchain as a sector. As Bitcoin is like the AOL, the market leader. Pets.com was a huge market leader, but we're going to go to a point where there's going to be companies that are solving real world issues that we will be able to invest very, very early in. Is Bitcoin going to be the end all be all final cryptocurrency that everyone will be using? I have no idea. Personally, I don't know if it will be. I kind of don't think so, but only time will tell that. Right now, I do think so, but with such a fast-paced environment, you want to really always keep your eyes open. Hong Kong gave out $1,500 to 7 million people so their economy doesn't fall. Holy shit. I didn't know that. Wow. So they're just printing money and straight giving it to people. See, this is the thing. If the US says this, the main reason why we're not seeing inflation in the United States is because of the lack of velocity that's currently in the market. If we see an emergence of velocity and we see it pick up and we see the exchange of every unit of currency increase in the United States, people buying and selling more, buying products, buying services, all this stuff, we're going to see the pickup of the volatility. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to create more inflation because we already see the circulating supply of money has increased substantially. Staggering amounts of money have been printed due to quantitative easing measures, and with the repo markets, there is a tremendous lack of liquidity that the banks have, and it's an issue. The velocity of money will play a very key part in the the inflation. And once we see that come into play, then I think a lot of people will turn to these assets that have a limited supply or a fixed supply or some level of supply that isn't going to be dependent on trust in some entity like a central government like we currently have right now. The people living in Venezuela had trust in their government that they weren't going to print their money to oblivion, and people saved, worked their entire lives, worked really hard, their entire life saving everything they can, and then one day just some person wants to print a shit ton of money for whatever reasons they have, nothing related to do with you, and then your entire savings went from, let's say, $100,000 to now a mere $10. Like that's happened, or less, or even like reducing it by half. Like imagine that you spend 60, 50 years saving, putting your money in this dollar that you trust in, that's going to hold your value, and in a span of what seems like an instant, you now have less money than what you might have had 30, 40, 50 years ago, right? So in terms of value, you can have more in terms of the denoted currency, like $1, $2, but what does that actually equate to in terms of the value that you are able to purchase goods or services with? So pretty scary if they're doing that, in my opinion. So they're printing money, they're just giving it to people, going to increase the velocity of money because people are going to be spending it, which then will pick up the velocity of money, which will pick up the inflation. And then once people will see inflation, they will see the value of the currency decrease, and then it becomes a downward spiral. If you have lots of cash sitting on the side and it is burning at 5%, you're losing 5% of that cash. Let's say you have 100 grand, right? And you're losing 5% every single year, right? In some places, you're losing 5% every single month. What are you going to do with that cash? Are you going to just keep it there? No, of course not. You're going to purchase something, or you're going to purchase something that is not going to devalue as quickly, or you're going to buy something that you were planning on buying sooner or now because you know that the value of the currency you have is going to go down. So very dangerous place if you are hoarding lots of cash and are hoping that inflation is not going to be an issue. If you are aware of the challenges that the Federal Reserve and other central banks have, you will then understand the power of algorithm-based monetary systems that don't require a human being to decide on increasing or decreasing the circulation supply or understanding what to do in different circumstances, because if an algorithm did it, there would be a lot less issues. So, yeah, that's my answer to that question. Really interesting times we're living in. If there is increasing inflation coming in, obviously cryptocurrencies, BTC will see a huge appreciation in price because everyone, well, the people who understand Bitcoin know it's going to be a fixed supply. So it's looking pretty good here. To be completely honest, I am still potentially entering here. I think we want to see the price break above the zone. XRP looking like a good entry here yet again. I might still do it here. I'm just seeing how it's looking right now. With where we currently are, I'd like to see the price break above the zone and then hold. And then I'd look to enter there. Because we see a squeeze in price. We didn't get the squeeze to go very far. So that's that for me is a conviction from the buyers that really want to push up the price. And then on BTC, we see this trend line broke, retested. It was a pretty deep retest. Hence, we got taken out of our positions. I personally didn't that retest. But man, on the hour chart, this looks pretty solid in my opinion. So we'll see what the next couple candles bring us here. We are on the 5 minutes, so we'll probably get a pullback validating a previous resistance as a new level of support. But like always, we will make sure that we are looking on the smaller time frames. That's some crazy news. Thanks for sharing. All of the money that flowed out of the stock market will go to crypto. Bitcoin is recession-proof. Yeah, I don't know if I can say that for a fact that Bitcoin is recession-proof, and I'm going to guarantee that the money flow will go from equities and equity-like assets into cryptocurrencies. I can't say it's going... That's what I'm speculating, obviously, and that's why I'm so heavily invested in the crypto market. But yeah, that is only time will tell that. But I do agree with you. That's what I think as well. But we will see. Bitcoin is there is a nice trend line that is heading downwards. It's going to bounce back from 0.23. Oops. Wow, a lot of people commenting here. Okay, right here. I don't know why, but trades for me on crypto at night, broker fees are 10%. How? Yeah, you got to get that checked out, man. That's brutal. You can't have that. If you're leveraging, you shouldn't be trading with that much capital. Like, if you're leveraging more than like 2-3 times, that just doesn't make sense to me, because the fees you're going to incur are so high that it just makes sense that you should be trading lower amounts of capital and then slowly growing your account. Like, you don't want to, especially if you're starting out as a trader, you don't want to be expecting to make instant profits and going to quit your job. Like, that doesn't happen. It takes time to grow as a trader. It doesn't instantly happen. You got to understand how markets move with your eyes, and it's not like a quick, easy, instant thing that you can learn how to do in like a week or anything. But if you spend the time, you get out what you put in. BTC was made by CIA to replace USD. The coronavirus, they pushed people to drop the USD to head to crypto. Wow, that's some pretty bold statements there. Yo, number one fan here. Super scams. Yeah, I don't know why. I just don't love that name. When I see it, I just cringe. I don't know why. Maybe It's just me not loving scammers, but going on here. Look at China. Everything is closed there. Their economy is crashing. The big dump came to BTC because of two things. He is talking to himself again. One people in China sell BTC because they need money. Oh, people are selling in BTC because they need money. Not they're not going to work. Not they're not going to work. No, the other use had a 4,000 BTC auction. Ain't gonna be fixed. It ain't gonna be fixed supply. Is this an iPod? Nope. This is an iPhone. It ain't gonna be fixed supply. Yeah, I definitely think that BTC's is fixed supply there, my man. So I've got the 5 minute to close. We'll see how the price action is doing for a lot of these alts that we're looking to get into. We'll close this. And we'll look to re-enter these alts here when we get a good entry. Except I think on this one, because they're pretty similar, I might just enter one and see how it is. I do think XRP is a little bit better of an opportunity personally. So we'll see how it goes. The break's looking pretty good. The pullback's looking pretty good. The hold's looking pretty good. Got 38 minutes on the hour chart. Overall, things are looking pretty strong. Yeah, I might definitely try to give the price a little bit of room, because that would have been a real nice entry to be in right now. Let's see how the price reacts here. It's kind of at a near support. On the live, 2 people watching on YouTube. Okay, seeing some buy pressure in the markets. Good to see. 2 minutes left on the 5 minute candle here. Does he show us his orders? Please do something with your mic. Great content so we can see how he does, but sometimes nobody can hear you because he is using iPod mic. Please consider something wearable. Probably. It took 2 days for stock market to lose 1 trillion. Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah, I'm not gonna wear anything. This is fucking TikTok. If you actually want to see a better live, go to YouTube. We're doing a live of this exact same thing. So if you actually want to view this in a better platform and a better output, go on YouTube. We're doing a YouTube live right now at the exact same time. And if you're interested in watching, that is, I have a good mic. I have a monitor that's just showing basically everything that I'm looking at. better overall way of viewing the content for sure. So we got around 30 seconds left here. We'll see what our risk is probably going to be. If we are going to take this trade, we'll probably want a pullback to validate this level of support, but we do see there is a strong level of buy volume that is coming into the market here. So let's see how the next couple candles close, or the next candle closes. I might be entering here if... okay, so I think Ethereum is looking better. Yeah, Ethereum's looking a little better. XRP pushed up a little bit higher, which is good to see. We did close well above the zone, which is good, but pulling back to a nice retest with a nice no supply zone or the no supply candle would really validate this as a nice entry for me, and that's what I'd be looking for XRP. For Ethereum, a no supply at this area would be good as well, or if we just got to close above the zone. Are seeing overall buy pressure coming into the market here. XRP pushing up, Chainlink pushing up, Ethereum pushing up. BTC is gaining some buy volume on this 15-minute candle. XRP is pushing up some more. I think I'm going to add some positions to Ethereum. So let's get our trade here. What are we risking? Okay, so got an entry in on Ethereum, and we're going to wait until the candle closes, or if we get a nice pullback on XRP. But we got an entry on Ethereum here. And then our stop loss, hopefully it's going to close above the zone. Link is pressing up as well. TRX is pressing up as well. So once we see the price push up above the zone, we'll definitely add more. So we added a little bit here. So we're waiting to see this price close. We see XRP pull back a little bit here. That would be nice. So we don't have a confirmation just yet. So we don't want to obviously enter too much here. But we will set a stop loss if this doesn't actually close, like always. But let's just see how this reacts here. Oops. So if it does close with a big wick there, obviously we will want to ensure that if we do get a bearish engulfing candle, that's our entry signal to get out and quick exposure out of the market. And then if we are able to get that price to hold there, and then that is the initiation. What we were kind of initially looking for was a potential no supply or a candle closure at that zone. We still got about 1:30 left until this candle does close. I'm looking for longs. I'm all right with taking a couple entries here to get a good long in here. But at this point right now, Link is pulling back and holding there. We see buyers entering at that previous resistance, which is now going to be a new level of support. So we'll just see how the next couple candles go here. Got a minute left. All right, so we are getting that pullback there. It looks like it is holding. Ethereum we got about half an hour left. Looks like it's holding, but this is BTC. This is Matic. I think we should just switch it to maybe Dash. I don't mind Matic. Doesn't really matter. We're not really looking at it. We're maybe looking at BTC on the 1 hour. And then this is the Ethereum trade here. So definitely the feeler isn't the best trade by far. But like I said, it is just a feeler. We're just testing out the waters to see if we are able to get the price to hold at that level. Definitely seeing sell pressure, seeing that wick. We'll see if it holds. So if we are going to get some bearish pressure there, I'm going to close it because then we can get another entry here. And then we can add to the position quite significantly. But at this point in time, we are just going to wait. If it holds, that's great. XRP looks pretty good for an entry here because we held that previous resistance as a new level of support. And then let's see how Ethereum does here. Lots of sell pressure at that area though. So Ethereum getting a little push up. Good to see. On the 1 minute, you could probably draw that trend line here. So it's a little bit of a breakout where it was a little bit of a squeeze, but then also you can draw the horizontal zone as well. So we will want to see the price break that zone, but I was kind of eyeing up the lower highs here within that breakout zone. And then also seeing a significant amount of buy volume that is coming back and pushing the price back up. So that looks pretty good. We'll see where BTC is. We already got a trade on Ethereum. So then risking maybe around 1%. If it goes below there, I'm very all right with taking a 1% loss there. But XRP still interests me. But the one thing that's really unfortunate is we're seeing more sell pressure. So that's kind of violating one of the criteria that I have is we need to see more buy pressure coming into the market than sell pressure. So in terms of the price action, I really, really like where we currently are for XRP. For Ethereum, you know, we did see that bearish candle right there, but overall, we are seeing more buy pressure coming to the market, especially within the uptrend there. We are seeing a decent amount. So overall, oh, I know what I need to do. We entered in here. And then I'll put my stop loss where it currently is. So we got a nice push to the upside here. Hopefully it closes above that zone. That would really signify for me that the bulls are in power, and hopefully we get to push the price back up. We still got 27 minutes on the hour chart. Keep that in mind. Don't get too eager here. We're still kind of early on in the entries, and then once we get the continuation here, we'll obviously be able to get some continuation patterns, which are great for us to trade. So we will take profits here. We got a risk reward of 3-to-1 right here. We have a risk reward of 2-to-1 right here. And then we got a risk reward of 4-to-1 right here. There we go. So we got a pretty solid push to the upside. Got a minute and 22 seconds until this candle closes. The XRP looked pretty damn strong there. Still got a minute for this candle closure before we are looking to potentially enter more here. Like I said, XRP is a potential. I like it. Like I said before, the sell pressure is a little bit more than the buy pressure. Only thing I don't like about that pattern altogether. Link looks like a better opportunity just because of the fact that we are seeing way more buy pressure than sell pressure. which then honestly might beg the question, why don't I just enter this? Which is probably what I might want to do, actually. So we saw that pullback there. I wanted to see that double pullback, and we saw a strong push to the upside. We are getting that to hold that zone. We're getting the candle to close above our zone on Ethereum, which is good. And then we're looking at Link here. I think that's a better way to do it right there. So we got a bit of a ascending wedge here. It starts breaking out. I might enter and put the stop loss at that zone. So then XRP is a little bit, for me, less. Link just has so much buy volume. That hitting one of the criteria, seeing so much volume accumulation, is a pretty good sign in my opinion. And we just broke a major level on a chart. Very important. Closed on the one. Yeah, I'm definitely liking this here. So if we get one little pullback, that would be really nice on Link. Just got it to close, so that means we got Ethereum to close above the zone. Oh, Link looks like it might be breaking out here. Give me one moment. Okay, so I entered some in Link because it just broke out. And let's say I'm risking like 2%. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so I just entered Link as well. So I'm going to set stop losses for these entries here, and then I will discuss exactly what I'm doing. Stop losses for longs are a lot easier because I don't have to borrow anything. I don't have to do anything of that nature. Which for me, I enjoy more. I don't have to pay back. It's just overall easier to long. Okay, so I got my stop loss set there. So if it does pull back, I want it to support at that zone. And then we got our risk reward 1, 2, 3. Not looking at XRP. Link, we also just entered. Once it breaks above there, we can enter more on it there. But I definitely really like that volume there. And I can also create a little ascending trend line like so. And then put a projection on it. And then there are the higher lows. Okay, so let's see how this goes here. Ethereum holding, which is good to see. And then let's put our stop loss in on 246969. Then we're going to get a risk of just that previous low, because it broke above there, and we're wanting to see if it breaks significantly higher and starts really branching out and really shooting up. Then we're wanting to enter more. We're wanting to see the candle closure above this zone. We did start to initiate to see it. We see lots of volume coming in. Got about 1 minute and 25 seconds until we see the candle closure. And let's just put in our trades here. So we got Okay, so we set a stop limit. Got 18 seconds here. It'd be nice to see that candle close a little bit higher up for the last 5 seconds. Which it did. It closed green. That's good to see. Lots of volume though. Look how much buy volume that is there. Someone is accumulating massive amounts of Link here. We can see that. So we're going to trade with the trend because someone is buying a lot of Link. So we're going to take that as an indication, as well as the price action as well. So I'm just going to set all my stop losses here. Definitely, Link could have waited on that one. Not a full entry, but still was an entry that I'm not super pumped on. We did get the candle to close above the zone, but like, yeah, you could argue. That's what I was looking at, this zone right here. So we got the candle to close above the zone, which is great. And the next candle got a lot of volume, closed green, and unfortunately we could not hold. The buyers were still not wanting to enter. So we'll see where it goes. If the price hits our stop loss, it does. Ethereum looks a lot better. We're going to test the previous resistance as a new level of support. Once that support holds, then we will be interested in moving that stop loss a little bit higher up. but well below any recent lows. So if Link continues and makes higher lows and higher highs, obviously it will be looking great. And then we'll just put our all right, so we will see. Getting a nice bounce here from Ethereum. It looks like on this new candle, we got Link bouncing up, we got XRP bouncing up, BTC is still in a bullish momentum on the 15-minute chart, although it's not very. The price action definitely suggests that we are going to potentially see some moves to the upside, or at least it's a shift in trend that we are currently seeing here. So we'll see how that goes. No questions on the live. Just want to see your outlook on BTC, or just can you put in the comments, Mr. No Thumbs, what you want my outlook to be on. Thanks very much. Okay, let's see what happened here on some of these trades. Link has unfortunately hit my stop loss. Yet it has. So got one of the trades out there. Ethereum is still on. Okay, so I'll write that in. I'm gonna take my exit here for number of trades a day. If I get this one here. So we'll write that in the books. Okay, that's very manageable. Yeah, it's definitely really good at understanding exactly what you are risking on each trade. Okay, so I wrote that on there. Good to go. And then we basically just have Ethereum that we're still in right now. We got a pretty nasty rejection from that breakout that we had. And then if this is an unfortunate loser, we will then probably finish the rest of the day and then start fresh tomorrow. Yeah, definitely I can see right now those two positions were a little too eager. You know, I didn't wait for the validation of buyers to enter above that level of resistance. That was not a good job on that part. I'll put that in my journal tonight. Definitely not a good entry on there. It wasn't a full position, right? It was a position that got me into the trade, and I was looking to enter more once I got validation that there was buyers. So it wasn't like I was just entering a full position without thinking about it. But looking back, I didn't really see or get a validation of buyers. We didn't get a pullback. I did miss a few trades long that did break out on me. And then looking back, this was almost a 2 to 1 risk reward there. Or it was a 1.5 or something risk reward. Could have captured a little bit of that. But at this point right now, just going to let this Ethereum trade go. If it continues, it continues. If it doesn't, we're going to be a little bit more patient tomorrow. Our two trades in the morning I thought were fantastic. I thought they were great. But this trade I'm not happy with. Chainlink, definitely one thing to work on. From this week is to wait until that 5-minute closes to get more validation. And then this I'm pretty happy with because that was a technical breakout trade where we already got the validation. And I'm just surprised at Link because we saw so much buy volume. That was the main, not validation, but that for me was a signal for Link at least, but we are still holding a level of ascending support. I don't want to enter again here. That theoretically would have been a better entry. Seeing that buy volume definitely made me have a little bit of not the best entry. But that happens. It's okay. Put it in my entry. Work on it every single day, and that's basically all you can do. So earlier in the day, really did well with the entries. Later half a day, around 455 right now. Not as good with the entries here. We're not getting that validation we're looking for. So that's all right. It happens. We will journal it like always. But that's a pretty good breakout here. We got just talking about structure, structural zone. You see the price get above that area. You know, the first two retests are the best, but you know, I was thinking that the price was going to move up pretty quickly here because BTC does look like it's in a place that could break out pretty soon. See some buyers entering the market. Yeah, patience is the name of the game. I tell myself every day. Definitely doing still pretty well though, but patience is the name of the game. That is very true. So we'll see how the price. We'll see where the price goes, how the price, where the price goes almost at the end of the month here. We got about until, we got the 29th here. Yeah, just the 29th, so tomorrow's the last day of the month. And then we'll be starting a brand new, fresh month for the next one. So, we'll see how it goes. We can close that. We don't really need it. Although, if it does break the resistance and then start shooting up, wouldn't be the most exciting. But, you know, that's why we have our risk rewards. Because we want to, you know, make sure we're getting our profit when we are right. That's why we're not trying to take profit at a risk reward of 1-to-1 or anything. We're trying to ensure we're getting that good risk reward. So this is basically the only trade we have right now at this point. Just going to leave it here. We'll do some commentary. In your opinion, do you think there'll ever be something that replace BTC as form of payment? I think Bitcoin will be almost a store of value than anything. I don't think it'd be a payment method in my opinion, but I don't exactly know. Time will only tell, right? I'm more or less a fan of sticking to larger alts and BTC until there is time-tested proof that it works, or there's value, or the project has some use case that is important to the world. So we're getting some sell pressure here. I don't know if I want to short anything at this point. Let's just see where other markets are. Because yeah, that's a strong Bitcoin right there. We're not seeing a tremendous amount of volume. It's actually closing a little bit bearish with the wick coming all the way back down. So if Ethereum goes down, then we probably will not be entering any more alts right now. But this is Ethereum on the 1 hour chart. It looks pretty good. You know, previous, if we're just going and talking about zones, very, very well respected zone right there. So that's why we entered. It's not like it was random. It was a pretty well placed entry, and we'll see if the price comes down. I don't know if I want to give that price room to come all the way down to here. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to stick with where I have my stop loss set. If it goes below and doesn't actually push up and it drops down to around the 226 range, then my stop loss will get hit. So we'll have to see how it goes. So we're looking for the price to start pushing up here. Ideally, that is the hope. And then we got the trade right here. But we're looking at that 1 hour chart right now. So not a whole lot to do. I will be back. I'm just going to say hello to someone, and then I will be right back. I'm probably going to close the TikTok off, actually, because there's no real point. There's no one real asking any more questions. Yeah, I think I'm going to close the TikTok off. Thank you very much for your questions. Do you think they can make something better than BTC? There's always innovation in the world. I believe in humanity, and I believe in the capabilities of people, and the ability for humans to always find ways of improving previous ideas to advance the human civilization onto bigger and better things. So hopefully that's a little bit of optimism for you. And until next time, have a good one, everyone.